Good evening, and welcome to Global News. I'm your host, Morgan Therian, and tonight we'll be discussing the latest impacts on the international pandemic coronavirus. First off, the Prime Minister of Japan has officially declared that the Tokyo 2020 Olympics will be postponed until 2021. Later, we'll be joined by a few guests from different corners of the world to see how this pandemic has impacted both them and their countries. And finally tonight, an unforeseen upside to the coronavirus that has restored some hope and sparked a new drive for the future of our planet. As countries across the globe have been put on lockdown, many were surprised to hear the news last week that the 2020 Tokyo Olympics had not yet been canceled. This stirred up quite an uproar, as this highly celebrated event usually attracts over 7 million spectators to the stands throughout the duration of the Games. With current stay-at-home orders, curfews, and limited gatherings in place across the world, many viewed this as a rash decision. However, earlier this week, Prime Minister of Japan, Abe Shinzo, and the President of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, both came together and agreed that the Olympic Games should be postponed until the summer of 2021 for the public's health. Bach and Abe released a statement to the press saying, "The leaders agreed that the Olympic Games in Tokyo could stand as a beacon of hope to the world during these troubled times, and that the Olympic flame could become the light at the end of the tunnel in which the world finds itself at present. Therefore, it was agreed that the Olympic flame will stay in Japan. It was also agreed that the Games will keep the name Olympic and Paralympic Games Tokyo 2020. The Olympics has always been an opportunity for the world to come together and to show pride for their countries. Following a pandemic that has impacted us all, the 2020 Tokyo Olympics will surely be a beacon of hope for the international community." Up next, we have our reporter from the Netherlands, Rebecca Keijerwart, who will be on call with 3 guests today to share the latest impact on the coronavirus. Rebecca?
Thank you, Morgan. Yes, I'm in the Netherlands right now, where we are, how I would like to call, in half quarantine. Things are looking pretty good here. I'm pretty comfortable. I've spoken to people in Italy and Australia, and situations are rougher up there, which we will get to later. What I want to talk to you about today is the grocery stores in the Netherlands. They have taken many precautions, and I was able to talk to the local owner of one of the biggest chains in the Netherlands, which is called Albert Heijn, and he said the following about the last couple weeks.
2,5 week geleden heeft onze premier natuurlijk eigenlijk verteld van joh, we gaan de regels strenger maken. Nou, toen is eigenlijk door de consumenten is het enorme hamster begonnen en we hebben een soort heel automatisch bestelsysteem. Die snapte daar ook helemaal niets van. Dus in de eerste instantie. Dus we hebben eigenlijk 1,5 week lang voorraden tekort gehad in de winkels. Net zoals andere formules, zoals Jumbo of Plus of noem het maar op.
Bavard explains that his biggest surprise was the stacking for the toilet paper. Another remarkable thing was that people bought a lot of baking products.
Nou kijk, kinderen zijn thuis. En omdat kinderen thuis zijn, merkten we ook de eerste week vooral dat mensen allerlei producten in gingen slaan om inderdaad koekjes te maken of appeltaart te maken. Ja, want die kinderen gaan zich vervelen.
Luckily right now, it looks like the Albert Heijn is back on track and has enough inventory. Albert Heijn makes sure they take care of their staff by wearing these vests. It says to keep distance from each other. And finally, they've banned their baskets for now so that people take a cart to keep distance from one another. But let's talk about other places in the world, how things are going over there. I was able to talk to Roberto from Sardine, Italy. He is in full quarantine right now, and he explains us how his days look like.
Life is pretty boring in quarantine, as you can understand. There's pretty much nothing to do. I have class online, so I'm studying a lot in the morning, especially, and in the afternoon, right after lunch. And then I have to do something. I have to move, so I just do some workout at home, like in the terrace. I try to play tennis to hit in the wall some balls, and that's the only thing I can do.
Roberto thinks the full quarantine will continue until June in Italy. He expects things to be better after this time. However, Roberto is not the only person that's inside all day. Chloe Morgan from Melbourne, Australia is able to tell us how this crisis is impacting the country after the bushfires last winter.
I think it would be a bit of both, whereas a lot of our money was going towards the fires, and trying to rebuild their lives. And so there was a lot of government focus on that, and there probably wasn't as much on the coronavirus until it did get bad. So it kind of did come off the backhand of it. So I feel like it would have had some effect, but at the same time we did have that break between the fires completely finishing to then the coronavirus starting to have cases in Australia.
It looks like the world will be dealing with this situation for a while. That was all the news I had for you internationally. We will go back to Morgan. My name is Rebecca Geiswart.
Thanks, Rebecca. Next, as the world shuts down to flatten the curve of the highly contagious coronavirus, a few unprecedented benefits have come from it. A large drop in nitrogen dioxide levels has been seen across the globe. Nitrogen dioxide is released from car emissions, power plants, and other industrial buildings, and with a sudden decrease in travel and factory production, nitrogen dioxide levels have dropped almost 30%. This dramatic change in air quality has cleared the skies in many countries that have not seen a blue sky in years. Countries such as China, South Korea, Italy, and the United Kingdom are only a few of the countries that have seen air pollution reductions. The World Health Organization described these pollutants as a toxic gas which causes significant inflammation of the airways. People who suffer from asthma or other respiratory diseases are one beneficiary of reduced air pollutants, but it is also believed to reduce the spread of airborne diseases. Paul Monks, professor of air pollution at the University of Leicester, made a comment about the future of our planet. He said, "We are now inadvertently conducting the largest scale experiment ever seen. Are we looking at what we might see in the future if we can move to a low-carbon economy? Not to denigrate the loss of life, but this might give us some hope from something terrible, to see what can be achieved." While the coronavirus continues to spread across the globe and many are working to stop the virus, visionaries are seeing a glimpse of the future without nitrogen dioxide or carbon dioxide emissions, and the beneficial impact it has on our precious planet. That's all the latest news we have on the coronavirus. This has been Global News, and I'm your host, Morgan Therian. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe.